If I could just ask a quick question, I've heard a couple of people mention the 5 to 10 years of experience, or in the education and the requirements, and it sounds a little bit like that's a pain point. And has anybody on the call had any experience, or have you tried to push back on that with your HR department?
Yeah, so I'll say, so my most recent hire, my manager, I hired him a year ago. He only had 2 years of supervisory experience. And, my HR department, they were like, hey, it's your hire. Like, you have the qualifications that are built into the generic job description. But if you feel like he's the right candidate, then we're not going to stop you.
My second, I've had 3 jerseys and now in over 34 years. So my previous employer, they tried to set a bar that they wanted managers, directors to have a master's degree. Well, that was okay with me because I qualified for that, but nevertheless, it became apparent pretty soon that they weren't attracting enough people. And so they basically rescinded back down on that. And so I don't really see that changing. I will see a lot of things where we are, if they want someone who has a degree in architecture or mechanical, electrical engineering degree background, that kind of a thing. So I don't know how much, I mean, that would very much help in facilities management. I don't know how much of that is a barrier. For those that don't have that, then something like CHFM certification might help fill that gap. Yeah, it was interesting when employment seemed to be more booming, and then things changed and they had to back down.
Yeah, it's been my experience as well. We've eased on the requirements and hoping to kind of put some things together, as Clay mentioned. If you don't have the years of experience, do you have the CHFM, or we've even required you must, get to CHFM within 3 years of employment. So we're doing a combination of things that kind of ease on that experience.
And almost dictated by the market and some of those statistics. And I think, Clay, you just said it. I mean, when it was booming, you could be selective. Not booming anymore, unfortunately.